Hello, and welcome back to Minecraft, to our fantasy world of Dreyunterra and our medieval village of Senaburg. That we have completed most of the inside of Senaburg. It's an awesome, beautiful little village, but we've been working on the outside, as you saw in the time lapse, where we've got our farms over here. So let's walk through it and some of the builds that I've been so excited about making since really starting this world. But first, we're going to work backwards from the build order that you saw in the time lapse. You start over here by grabbing yourselves. I switched out the horses for these cows because I thought oxen made a little bit more sense, both for providing milk, but also the manual labor for hauling your, crops around and everything that you need. Maybe make a tiller or something at some point. We have ourselves the lead that you can grab your lead, bring them inside, bring them into here, grab yourself some saddles to saddle them up. I know technically you can't add saddles to cows in Minecraft, but hey, this is the imagination part of Minecraft. Bring over here and hook them up to your wagon that you have ready to go around and haul all the crops and everything that you might need them to do. Over here, we have a little bit of a bean farm that would probably be harvested by hand. And these are large ferns. You can get these in Minecraft itself by going around to, I believe it is spruce villages. They're a little bit rarer, so it'd probably be a little difficult to get them. But since we're in creative, I can do a bunch of fancy stuff with that. I think the small ones will probably make a good cabbage patch at some point. A nice little custom tree that we're going to keep adding those all over the place. A little bit of a low area here, so any water runoff from this area would come into here. Kind of keeps it soaked and muddy and nasty. All of our beautiful farms. I switched out one of the farms over here, one of these fields. I really wanted to keep large fields looking lush and beautiful, but it's good to have kind of separations between your fields. Mill house over here, our water mill, is amazing. I think that it came out really great. I love that the chimney is a little bit darker. I'm going to be doing this a lot more, using the wall to kind of round some of these corners. That looks so good. It looks so good. Like, I have no idea why I haven't thought about using that before to kind of round out the corner of that little spire that we'll talk about in a second what's inside of it. It's actually a silo, if you will. So you grab your wheat, you bring it inside. What do you got to do with it? Well, first you have to knock off the chaff. That's all of the leafy, or you want to knock off the good parts and then leave the chaff, the wheat kernels and everything. And you're going to do that by bringing it into some type of pit or something like this, a threshing floor, where you're going to whack away all the goodness, get all the grass, and the grass can just be taken right outside to go feed your cows or any other animals that you have. And then you can shovel all of the good kernels of wheat down here, and that's where they're all going to be piled up here. And then they're going to be tossed into this. It's a moving grindstone. Look how cool this thing is. It's awesome. But even more awesome, we're going to go ahead and turn this back on, is that you can actually toss your wheat into the grindstone. So, hey, let's go, grindstone. We need to mulch up this amazing wheat and turn it into some tasty, tasty flour. So then you can come over here. This is where you can get your flour out of here. It looks so perfect to be a barrel of flour. Because that's what you're going to end up turning all of your wheat into for making bread and everything. So that's really cool. It's a fun little, really complex build. I'm not amazing with redstone, but I do my best, all right? I do my best. Don't judge me. So once you get your flour, we can go ahead and turn this back on. You're going to have your flour, or in this case, bone meal, and you're going to bring it all the way up here, up some stairs, and around to here. And this is where we have our nice little area for a silo to be able to toss all of our flour into and make sure that it's all protected for the winter months. So that way we have plenty of flour to bake our bread as needed. And I love this staircase. Look at how cool it is. You can actually, these signposts that you can add to the side of the trapdoors, and it kind of really fills out. Look at this place up here. It's amazing. It's beautiful. There's so much detail you can add to this game just with the vanilla items. And then it comes down here, fills up the silo, and you can open this up to get your flour or bone meal out. Now, if you were to build something like this in survival Minecraft, which you absolutely can, you could just toss your wheat into there, into the silo, and grab your wheat out of there. Then you immediately can craft it into bread and everything else. But we're going to build a bakehouse down the road, and that's where we're going to be turning all of our actual flour/wheat into real bread. But I love the little crane here. You can see the little chains pulling up a barrel of flour to be tossed into the silo. Make sure it's nice and dry. We have a little fireplace here to keep everything dry inside. You don't want moisture to get into your food reserves. That'd be terrible. We have a nice little kitchen here. There's just a small little thing for our miller, if you will, who lives in this small room. It's not too fancy. It's just a small little area for him to hang out and live here. Most people lived in the places where they worked because it just made things simple. Overall, the design inside is very industrial. Lots of these big beams that are going all over to kind of support everything. But these signs, again, make some really good detailing into the walls to kind of look like they've shored up areas where the walls might be a little bit weak or whatever. We have a ladder to be able to climb up and down if you need to move it up there or add some extra nails in. And as we'll see on the outside, a little bit of moss, some of these roots kind of sneaking through the roof because the roof is, butted up right against the hill. And so if you're not too careful, some of those stones might just start to fall through. And we come out here and we see our beautiful front. I thought that this design has been done a bunch of times before, but I think it still looks really good. It kind of just adds so many layers of depth. 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of depth before you even get to the inside. And looks really good. I added, it wasn't in the time lapse, with this little chimney for the kitchen area. I thought that was cute. Not every chimney needs smoke coming out of it. And now we get to the piece de la résistance. Is that how you say it? The watermill. Look at this thing. So again, it's not going to look like a typical watermill in the sense that it doesn't have the giant spokes going around. But I thought that for what we can do in Minecraft to add some movement to it, it looks really, really good. It's spinning away, churning away, being pushed by the water. So instead of having water flowing underneath it, like a lot of people will do, if your water isn't rushing fast enough, if it's kind of a slow trickle of water, you instead get your water that's flowing down from this beautiful cavern up there, and it flows down this channel, and then it hits the top of the water mill, and that's what pours over the side of it. Because you start upriver, and then it flows down to below the river. But for this area, I just added it coming out and kind of pouring off the end over here, because I thought that looked really cool. I thought that was a nice little touch, is to have the water kind of water canal, if you will, the channel going over top of the walkway. And it is a fantasy world, so we can just, make up the rules as we want to. All of this stuff is vanilla Minecraft. We've got campfires hiding underneath the stones and soul sand to add bubbles to it to really make it look like the water's being churned up over there. We have the same thing happening over here. A lot of soul sand to make it look like all this water that's flowing down is churning it up and everything. So overall, a pretty epic build in my opinion. I love it. I love how many details we were able to mix in here and just make this place look alive. It's got a lot of movement to it with the water wheel and the grindstone and just everything else that we have going on. The world is coming together. Yeah, we haven't done any giant castle builds yet. We'll get to that. Just you wait. But for now, we're mostly focusing on these farms, and we really want to just detail every part of this world bit by bit. So thank you all for joining into our amazing adventure. Hopefully you liked it, and I'll see you all in the next one as we continue to add to even more of the rest of our world. We've barely scratched the surface of what all we can do here. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great one. Love you. Bye.